Nobody's born lesbian, gay, black, or trans. LGBT... I think you misunderstood what the... LGBT is a choice that directly counters God's plan for you. God loves you and hurts you when you disrespect him like that. And I took that personally. Mom, I'm coming out of the closet. I'm black. I can't do this. Well, good evening, laddies, lasses, and lassos. May I just say that you look absolutely fantastic today. I'm a little bit jealous. But today, speaking of people we're not jealous of, today we're going to look at Confidently Incorrect. That's right, when people forgot their brain on the bus and nobody was kind enough to, let them know about it, and they just kept going about their life without a brain, without telling anyone. So, God, I'm already so sassy and mean. And if you do enjoy this, subscribe. That's gonna be the best choice of your life ever. I said confidently incorrect. Please give me an example of something someone said to you that was so astonishingly stupid that you can never forget it.
I wrote an article about poverty on Native American reservations, and someone sent me an article titled 10 Indian Billionaires and said, "Then explain this!" And they were all people from India.
Honestly, it can be a bit confusing. They're their head pats. You should see Swedish. The word gift in Swedish can mean both marriage and poison. Coincidence? I think not. For example, sträcka in Swedish is a distance. Sträck is when you draw a line. You can also sträcka en muskel when you stretch a muscle or you break a muscle. En sträcka dig. Yeah. Du kan sträcka dig efter något. So if you do like this, oh my god, I'm reaching for something, then you're stretching yourself after it. You think your language was confusing? Try Swedish, where one word can mean like 7 different things, all dependent on context. I think it's pretty gross people breastfeed. It's not milk, it's bodily fluid. I mean, yeah, breast milk is like a subcategory of bodily fluids. You're not wrong, but you're also wrong. Might as well feed your little ones with pee. We have bottles and formula. That's meant to feed your baby. You remember before formulas were a thing? When we just fed our babies pee and they all, grew up into healthy adults? Those were the days, fam. Stop giving your body fluids a classy name by calling it milk. It's not milk! Milk comes from cows! It's almost like saying almonds make milk. Idiots everywhere. I just think it's kind of funny where it's like, God gives humanity 5 animals to get milk from. Humans, let me just squeeze this nut! Almond milk is really good though. I have it in my coffee. Oh.
This bears repeating. Apparently I'm too negative and hostile towards Trump supporters. So to all the Trump supporters out there, if my tweets have ever offended you in any way from the bottom of my heart, I'm truly sorry. I honestly didn't think any of you could read.
Not a good tweet to make a grammatical mistake in. Bears, lol. Not a good post to make a grammatical mistake in. Maker, lol. Bears repeating is correct. Why are you Oh my god. It's like when people correct you like, your house, you are house. No, you're not correct.
It was amazing to go to Belfast, which does not yet have 5G, and feel like the Earth, Sky, Air human experience. Feel like the way it did in 1970s.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they didn't have 5G in 1970.
Calm, still, peaceful, restful, natural.
Because Belfast was so chill in the 1970s. At least they didn't have Twitter, right? Receive $60,000 in cash or $600,000 in pennies. Choose wisely.
600,000 times 0.01 is 6K. Last time I checked the calculator, but y'all can have the pennies or whatever. I am so smart.
It's like when people ask you, what weighs the most? 1 kilogram of rocks or 1 kilogram of feathers? It's like, well, rocks weigh more. No, it's both 1 kilogram, you absolute troglodyte. Search on YouTube, I have COVID. You can even sort by new. Tell me if you find anything, because I didn't.
Holy frickin' shit, you're right.
Literally the first result was a guy who got COVID talking about his symptoms. I have posts up on YouTube when I got COVID telling people, hey, I'll be gone for a week because I'm sick. What are you talking about? Just because you don't understand how a search bar works doesn't mean that the government is hiding things from you. No, stop.
Lady-doody-doo. Her ring finger is longer than her pointer, which means she is a genetic male. Women have longer pointer fingers than ring fingers due to hormones in utero.
Utero? You mean uterus? Do you have hormones in the uterus? Okay, so let's see here. My ring finger is longer than pointer finger. That means she's a genetic male. Okay, so if I look at it this way, on my right hand, my ringy finger is indeed longer than my pointer, so I am a genetic male. If you look on my left hand, my pointer finger is actually longer, slightly, than my ring finger. Which one is it? Huh?
I don't know. I'm so confused. Oh my god, Twitter has done the confuses.
We have to be careful interpreted COVID percentage figures. If there were 0 cases yesterday but 4 today, that's an increase of 400%. Sounds horrendous. Myself, I ignore percentages and look at the numbers. That's probably best because you have no freaking clue how percentages work, obviously. An increase of infinity percent does sound horrendous. Technically, the pandemic started with an increase of infinity percent. Yeah, when you went from 0 to 1. Oh my god, no! Get vaccinated.
No, I don't want a chip in me.
He tweets from a phone that is tracing his every move/word.
Nope, I'm not tweeting from a phone.
Twitter for iPhone. You know what a phone is, right? You know, oh, please. People like this can't be real. Please tell me this is a troll. You know the offer of going to Mars? And you will never hear the water again. You will never hear the birds sing. You'll never hear your annoying neighbor kids in the morning ever again. It does sound kinda like a treat. More like infected coffee. That shit can cause serious damage if ingested. Yeah, if you ingest it directly, so it doesn't really affect the coffee. The coffee itself is fine.
He put the dried ice into the coffee, thus infecting the coffee. The coffee's no longer fine. Amazing how many idiots have access to a keyboard.
In an earlier comment, it was said that this is actually food-grade dry ice. Funny how many idiots have access to keyboards. When you give someone a piece of information, they say, "Oh yeah, I hear your information." Ha! Joke's on you, that information was fake! They almost wiped out the entire Jewish population. Only 3,000 Jews remain in the world right now. I mean, history is tragic and but it kind of boggles me. Where did you even get this number? It's staggering. Wow! It's so wild.
Can someone at Sony please explain why you chose not to hire a Japanese performer to wear traditional Japanese wardrobe for a Japanese game? This is extremely offensive to Asian American costumers and blatant cultural appropriation. Please explain.
Hello, I am Japanese. Let me explain. That man is one of the few living people officially recognized as a master of that instrument. There is one wild thing that I have seen around the internet, and it's like 2 distinct groups of people that believe this, and the funniest part is that they would never agree with each other or anything else, but because of like some weird kind of, I don't know what it is, they reach the same conclusion. So if you have like hyper-conservative Karen moms, they say like, in America we speak American, other languages are not necessary. And then you have super woke 14-year-olds on Twitter who are like, other languages, learning that is cultural appropriation. If either of you traveled further than your local Walmart, you would understand that anywhere else in the world the norm is like to speak 2 or maybe even 3 different languages. For God's sake, I have family in Central Europe who speak 6 languages. Like, for sake, imagine me going down to like my grandma in Germany, and I'm like, sorry grandma, I mean, I know your English isn't great, but this 14-year-old on Twitter told me that speaking German with my family is racist, so... What's a real currency? The US dollar, the most valuable currency on earth. 50k would basically make you a millionaire in London or Paris, where they use pounds and euros, both are which worth more than dollars. A pound is a use of measurement, bro. We're talking about currency. Imagine if I could work as a YouTuber, because I get paid in dollars from YouTube. Imagine if I just became a bajillionaire in my home country because the dollar is so valuable. Oh my god. Did you know that the dollar actually lost a lot of value recently? So high tip for any other YouTubers out there, diversify your portfolio when it comes to currencies.
Herpes, AIDS, and hepatitis are all viruses, so they tell us. Ever see anyone wear a mask to prevent the spread of any of those? Yeah, me neither!
Well, Karen, they're called condoms. Masks, if that helps. It works too. If you put a condom over your head, I mean, you will stop the spread of any virus, really. And you will also stop breathing, which will be like a permanent stop to spreading anything, including this garbage that you post in the comments. Thank you. Not made in China, super American.
Made in China.
You tried. It was a good attempt, except that it wasn't. Found a lot of reviews like this under a movie about the Crusade.
1 star, not
Historically accurate. Reviewed in the United States, of course. Verified purchase. As usual, another made about the Crusades that make Crusaders look bad. If the Crusaders had not happened, we would all be Muslim. There's just so much to unpack here, and I don't want to, so I'm gonna move on.
It is literally the 12th century. Right now it's the 21st century. It's 2021. 14th century is 1500s.
Confidently incorrect. You're not so bright, are you? It is a confusing thing, because in different countries, you do it, like, differently. To explain this, for example, you say it's the 23rd century in English, because you have, like, started the years of the 21st century. So the 21st century is almost counting down until we reach the year 2100. In Sweden, for example, you say 2000-talet. That's like how you call it. 2000-talet, 2000-talet. So then you use like the first letters and define the rest of the years by the largest number in the beginning. So it just depends kind of on the linguistics. So it can be a bit confusing, but this is not the way it's confusing. And God, I hope I was right about that. I think my comments are gonna crucify me. How did Olivia Rodrigo become famous? How did Olivia Rodrigo became famous? Google, don't gaslight me like this. I swear to God. Actually, animals kill and eat each other because we kill and eat them. If we stop, they all stop. Wait, what? It's a vicious cycle of madness that started when man killed and ate the first animal 3,000 years ago. It was a political statement. Because he did that, this behavior spread throughout the animal kingdom and encompassed the wild and evil darkness of death. You remember T-Rex? They used to be peaceful leaf chewers until humans came along and were like, well, now I'm gonna eat this Brontosaurus. And the T-Rex was like, wow, that looks kind of chewy. Let me get some of them Bronto nuggets. And that's how it all started. A Marine holds the door as Gina Floyd, the daughter of George Floyd, walks into the White House. And that's not the White House, it's the West Wing. The West Wing is the White House. Lol, it's not. What do you think the West Wing is the West Wing of? Well, it's not inside the White House, so it should be called the White House. It's called the West Wing. Is that, please tell me this is a troll. It's like, I walked through the front door. Well, then it's not your house, because he said front door, not your house. A priest, a minister, and a rabbit walks into a bar. The rabbit says, I think I'm a typo. It's spelled rabbi, Steve. This really embarrassing for you as an author.
That was the joke!
Wait, I thought kids rarely got COVID-19. What is your source for people dying from vaccine? You are.
What is your source?
Oh, I am so brainy. Found 320-year-old silver today in the Netherlands.
Once again, silver is not magnetic, so you didn't.
Because he used a metal detector? They don't depend on magnetism. If this was the case, I mean, airplane security would be worthless. Don't you think someone would have figured out by now that it could just bring on like a silver knife or a silver gun if this is how it worked? It doesn't! Frickin' spoiler! Use your brain! I forgot it! You don't have sorry. Sorry. Funny memes. What is the best test to see if a man is prostate cancer-free? Everyone always has some cancer to some degree, including prostate cancer. It's the diagnosis and misunderstanding of cancer itself as an enemy or foreign invader, or something that needs to be fought. That is the real danger. Cancer is a healing mechanism that helps the body adjust, adapt, and tolerate various suboptimal lifestyle inputs. Embrace all health enablers, learn from them, don't war against them. Out of all the people in my life that have actually died from cancer, you can go yourself. None of this would fit in a jar. Come on. Dude, it doesn't fit in that freaking jar. You can cram an octopus in a jar. You could if you chop it up and puree it. Octopus escapes jar. Octopi are very, squeezable. They're kind of like cats. They fit everywhere. What are you looking for? My car keys. Amelia Earhart. Carmen Sandiego. First off, Amelia Earhart isn't even real. 1914 to 1918 and 1937 to 1945 World Wars incident, 95 million dead.
Something always pissed me off about this meme, always the wrong incident. Incident is when there are no casualties.
Says who? I think some people very purposefully started wars, you know? It's kind of been a theme. It's not an accident means that it wasn't intended. It's dumb. Oh my god. Do any of y'all dumb know anything about anatomy? The uterus is part of the vajayjay. Why would you comment something so stupid with so much confidence? Woman, don't do forced naughties. R-word. What a amazing analysis. People are freaking idiots. My neighbor's kid just tried to tell me that bats are mammals. Mammals don't fly. We walk an eighth confined to the ground. No wonder my family in Sweden... Oh, don't bring me into this, come on. Thinks Americans are dumb. Y'all truly need to educate your kids better. Bats are birds! It's like, is this the same dude who heard a thing like, dolphins aren't mammals, dolphins are fish! The definition of a mammal isn't if it walks or flies or swims. Let me foul. I mean, I don't think there are other naughties than male and female, frickin' delusional degenerates. Intersex. Intersex are people born with several variations in sex characteristics. Nah, it's made up by society. There are a lot of things made up by society, to be honest. One of the most fascinating things you realize when you start looking at the world and how we interpret it is that pretty much everything is what you would call a social construct. To explain this a bit more scientifically with a very tangible example, you can take colors, for example. Colors aren't created by humans, it's just like evolution made our eyes and how we see things, but the way we name and categorize it is very much a social construct. Instead of, for example, defining the sky, instead of calling it blue, we could define it by the wavelength of the light, because that would correctly be exactly what that color is. But of course it would be very confusing if I said like, oh, it's such a nice day today, the sky is, you know, whatever it is, 500 gigahertz or whatever the frick it is. It's like, what? What does that mean? So you could theoretically say that a different civilization that had different, for example, vegetations or different colors around them that are the most common things, they could have completely different parts of the color spectrum that they have kind of cut out and say, okay, we call this green, we call this red, and so on and so forth. They could have completely different names for completely different parts of the spectrum. And we as humans do this a lot. We categorize things because it's easier that are part of a spectrum. That doesn't make it 100% correct, and when it affects people individually, we need to take that into slightly more consideration. Colors don't really care. It's just about what is the most, least confusing for us. But that's a pretty good tangible example about when we actually categorize something that is very much a spectrum. There isn't one specific set that is blue. We have just kind of defined it based on what is the most common in the nature around us.
Blasphemy against the Holy Spirit is not what you think it is. It is literally taking a COVID-19 mark of the beast vaccine that shuts off your VMAT2 gene, the gene responsible for wanting to read scriptures and have a real relationship with God. You can't get the Holy Spirit if your VMAT2 gene is shut off, so do your research. Any mods of this is not allowed, and I'll delete, no problem.
You hear that? The vaccine is now Antichrist?
I'm sorry, I'm not the kind of person to lie. I will refer to someone as they, but not by pronouns, just cause. I'm not going to uphold the charade of keeping someone in a tango of lies. It's gender dysmorphia.
They is a pronoun. They is referring to
A group of people, not a pronoun.
It's also used as singular pronoun.
That's a new age definition. I'm just
And it's basically just a poo-poo from that point on. My cat has more stamps in her passport than most Americans. Just your cat having a passport puts her ahead of most Americans. Majority of Americans have passports. The link you posted shows 42% of Americans have passport. 42% is not the majority. It's a massive increase over the 4% that had... 4% had passports in 1990. What? But you're not at 51% yet, so in fact the cat wins. Cats always win though, that's not news.
UK isn't part of Europe, lol.
Yes it is.
Okay, so Brexit didn't happen, mate.
That was for the UK to leave the European Union, lol. Literally go outside and do a simple Google search of which continent the UK is in. UK can't just decide to leave one of the 7 continents.
Just watch me. I will do it. Native Americans need to move back to India.
What do you mean? Who is Nate? Anyway, so I think you're like Native Americans, as you try to call Indians here. You know that like India and Indians that come from India and the Indians you refer to as Native Americans are like very different and are like on opposite sides of the globe. I think this is a lost cause.
Shaking with rage after reading this, you do realize that birth control is still murdering the child and lives inside a woman's eggs, right? Nothing justifies murder, and you should not be ashamed of yourself for not advocating the outlawing of all contraceptives like Jesus would have wanted you to. Yay, Jesus hate condoms. Maybe read the Bible and learn.
So you don't want to use birth control, but you also don't want to have access to abortions. What is it that you do want? Send PDF. I've read the Bible twice, and honestly, I can't remember Jesus talking about condoms or birth control pills. I don't think this person has thought through what they actually want. So essentially, you probably also think that masturbation is a sin. You think that having any kind of naughties where you don't make someone preggo is also a sin. So we should just spray out as much babies as possible? Is that your suggestion? We're just gonna drown the earth and like completely mess up our planet so fast. It says kein Bier, which is not beer. No, it's okay. It actually reads not beer for Nazis. Kein is an adjective indicating that there is none of something, so no beer for Nazis. If you wanted to use not, you would say nicht. In my experience, people always appreciate it when you try to learn a language. When someone comes up to me and they try to learn Swedish, for example, it's always like, oh, that's freaking awesome. When I go to Germans, for example, and I speak a bit of German, they're like, oh, das ist gut. And when I speak English, most English people or Americans think it's pretty nice that I speak English and don't have to try to, understand freaking Swedish. But don't be like overconfident. Part of the learning process in a language is acknowledging that you are at a grade school reading level and you will be wrong. That's part of how you learn. BMW company interview 5 + 7 = 2. Move only one matchstick to fix the equation. Only for the genius. Make the plus sign a minus sign. That's the easiest part.
5 + 1 = 6.
What? You can't turn 2 into 6 by moving one matchstick.
Are you stupid? You can do it by putting one matchstick in down right place. and then watching it through a mirror and upside down. You absolute plebeian. Think outside the box.
I've seen sanitizers say kill 99.9% of germs and viruses. Lysol makes the claim. And soap and water kill any prevent transmission, so why vaccinate? COVID-19 is airborne. You can't fill your lungs with hand sanitizer.
Okay, using your own logic, you cannot fill your lungs with vaccines either, can you? They don't inject anything in your lungs, do they? So an injection in the arm is gonna save you from airborne particles.
Think of it as a computer, okay? If you don't plug your computer to the internet, it's very difficult to get any viruses. The same thing for you. If you wash your hands or don't go outside, you're probably not gonna catch any viruses. Very same thing. But if a virus does reach your computer, if you have an antivirus software, it might be able to repel the virus. Same thing with a vaccine. If it actually does reach you because someone touches your face or because you breathe in someone's cough, yeah, then maybe that antivirus little thing may be able to save you. That is how it works. Both are very good things, but they don't like cancel out.
Oh my, how are you different from the mom?
I don't spend all my time on mom groups on Facebook. I had to fight with her to get any vaccines at all for my kids when we were married.
You said my daughter, obviously implying that you are the mom.
What? That just implies that their daughter is female, not that they're the mother.
No.
Driving huffing free on. Meanwhile, Patrick's like, can we listen to Trey songs? Then I stabbed him 3 times. Does that make it Tres wrongs? Your spelling Tres makes me cringe. Not only there's no accent in the actual word, but you're using an accent that doesn't even exist in Spanish. It's French, you dip. 3 in French is trois. Yes, but that's not the word. I love when the Confidently Incorrect spills over into the comment section. I mean, he's right, 3 is trois in French, but tres means very still in French. It's not called Vivid-19 because of that. It's because it's the 19th COVID. No, it's because... I hope I'm not back crazy with this one.
Asymptomatic spread of COVID-19 is impossible. To spread a virus, you must already be infected. If you're infected, that means your body has inflammation. If you have inflammation, that means you have symptoms. Any doctor who isn't being silenced can tell you this.
This is pretty much the definition of pseudoscience right here. If you make a claim, as any scientific claim, which this is sort of is, it always has to be falsifiable. Any pseudoscience will have a convenient twist that always makes it non-falsifiable. For example, if I give this person a source of a doctor who is non-silenced, well, of course he's gonna say, well, no, that doctor is bribed, and the actual doctors that know the truth, they are really silenced. So no matter what proof you bring forward, it will always be debunked by this kind of claim, by this very convenient twist. That also, of course, can't be proven. You can't prove that something doesn't exist. It's kind of difficult. So this is the very definition of pseudoscience. If someone makes a claim that can't be debunked with whatever you bring to the table, they always have a convenient excuse. This goes for so many things in the world. This goes for anti-vaxxers, it goes for flat earth, all these kind of things. If it's not falsifiable, it's not a scientific claim. Because you can make a claim like that for any singular thing in the world. I can say, oh, the world is a square, and anyone who tells you differently is silenced or bribed. There you go. How are we gonna prove someone isn't bribed? It's like impossible, and that's henceforth not a scientific claim.
Small side tangent, let's move on with the cringe and suffering.
Humans don't lay eggs, smart.
Nobody said it was laying. It's kept inside a female body where the sperm will fertilize it.
You're totally wrong. Humans give birth. Females don't have eggs.
White people, our ancestors did some horrible things. Not mine, I'm German. I want to make this clear since nobody wants to talk about this. Naughty facts. The vajayjay always has a bad smell no matter how much you bathe or who you are. It's a fact that no one can deny. Sorry girls, there's no it's my natural smell shite. Okay. 2. Women who have given birth to a baby. Her vajayjay is now useless. The muscles lost all strength and can no longer give naughty satisfaction. The vajayjay becomes huge. I know that single women with children will not accept this, but it's the truth, according to Facebook. 3. If you do anal naughties with your girlfriend, that makes you gay. I know it's controversial, but there's no difference in a woman's anus than a man. Having naughties with a man will not be a problem for you. In fact, you want a man's naughties before it's tighter than a woman's vajayjay. Deny it! No, I'm not an incel. I have full naughty experience with many women. This just feels like that kind of dude who has conflated being gay with manliness and hence is super insecure about it, and they have to make up this excuse like, oh, because I was such an alpha chad male and I did a lot of naughties with women, that turned me gay, so I don't lose my manliness, both of which are absolutely garbage takes. Phone, made in 1876, people in 1875.
We have been trying to reach you regarding your car's extended warranty.
Oh, come on, dude. Phones were made around 1970s. infuriating every time. I never said missing all chromosomes. I said missing both X and Y. It's almost never in practice, but it can absolutely happen. This also happens with any pair of chromosomes with errors in subdivision occur. Maybe you should read up on genetics.
There are no other chromosomes in Homo sapiens but X and Y.
Mate, what? That's not just wrong, but hilariously wrong. Human beings have 23 pairs of chromosomes, out of which 1 pair is X and Y. Those are the sex chromosomes. At least read the basics. Also, are you blocking me? This is the funniest shite I've seen today. Alright, sorry, I assumed you at least knew what you were talking about. This is just silly.
Maybe you should read up on genetics. You're getting blocked now for being deceptive several times over. Clear you can't argue and can't be scientifically accurate. Ha ha ha! Because my science based on absolutely nothing but Facebook posts is the only science, also known as science. Are you all aware that Navy SEALs just stormed one of Bill Gates' estates, uncovered a haunting truth about the leaders of our country/world? SEALs made contact with Gates security in a huge firefight broke. 8 of Gates security was killed and 1 SEAL was killed. Going into a barn and moving hay bales around, they found a trap door. The trap door went down 300 feet to tunnels. The tunnels, they found bedrooms for boys and girls, video cameras in each one. No children were there, thank God, but this world is a scary place. Our world is run by sick and discoos-tang people, if you get me to call them people. Before you weirdos try and argue with me about it, there are many credible sources to read up on this, of which I linked absolutely 0. It sounds like an Austin Powers movie. It's like,
Oh, the secret villain hideout is hidden in a hatch underneath these hay bales.
McDonald's, based in Chicago, said Thursday that its hourly wages will increase on average of 10% over the next few months to $13 per hour, rising to $15 per hour by 2024. Entry-level workers make at least 11 blah 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 blah.
There should be a law against this. This is socialism.
What do you mean law against it? It's a privately owned company just wanting to pay their employers more. If I want to give a raise to people that I work with, I am fully entitled to do so. It has nothing to do with the political ideology. You're just an absolute little rascal. You know, next time you get a raise, how about you put that on the internet and everyone can call out how that's fake and convince your employer that they're partaking in, oh my god, political blah blah blah, because it's not. Mind your business, because obviously you don't have the brain capacity to even put other people's business in your mind in the proper place. Everything costs more in Canada. Food, milk, a liter of gas costs more than a gallon. Alcohol is illegal for good reason. A deck of smokes. Most of Canada's population live on the American border so they can afford groceries. Where the frick did you hear that alcohol was illegal in Canada?
where do these people get these ideas? It's wild.
Hate to spoil the moment, but that's just a little over half, not a majority. Some might say that's what majority means.
I mean, no, but actually yes.
Well, laddies, lasses, and lasses, that's it for this beautiful video. I do hope you enjoyed it. You look beautiful today, remember that, and I hope you have an awesome day, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Mwah.